Hello. We're here in London at the Jack Horner pub. This is a historic place because it's directly opposite the UFO Club, the unidentified flying object, which is a centre of music in London in the late 60s and the early 70s. Come on, let me show you the UFO Club. It's here on Tottenham Court Road.
Lip sync.
Okay, I don't know if you know who this is, but this is Neil Cassidy and Jack Kerouac. These were the Beats. These were two of the Beat poets that produced the Great Revolution in America and a second-hand, but just as great revolution in the UK. It is the inspiration of the Beat generation that caused the hippies. And the hippies had their own centre in London. And it was right here behind me. This was the UFO Club. And if you go down a couple of flights of stairs, you'd be isolated from the world. You wouldn't hear no traffic like we hear today. You wouldn't hear any music outside here. But downstairs, there'd be the Floyd, Arthur Brown, the Who, various people hanging out like Stevie Winwood and John Lennon, and my bands. The Giant Sun Trolley with Glenn Sweeney and flute player Dave Tomlin. We used to arrive here about 9 o'clock in the evening, watch the Floyd, watch the bands, and then about 4 o'clock we used to come on and play three-piece avant-garde jazz. It would start off with one soft long note on the double bass and would continue for a couple of hours sometimes until about 6 o'clock in the morning, where we'd stroll out of here, throw our instruments into a car and head back to a somewhat acid-filled environment of Ladbroke Grove and Portobello Road. Later, when the Giant Sun Trolley decided to go its own way, I would drop round to see Joe Boyd and say, "Joe, I'm out of a job. I need some work. The guys are going to quit playing the UFO. I want to bring my own unit in." And Joe said, "Sure." And so I arrived the next week with the finest bunch of avant-garde jazz musicians in London at the time. And this was the Roger Bunn Light Infantry Avant-Garde Jazz Orchestra. And it was one of the finest things, along with all the rest of the bands that appeared in UFO, that the UK had ever seen during that era. When you think of this place, you don't really think of a man standing in the middle of a stage with his head on fire. But that's what this place makes me think of. It makes me think of Arthur Brown and singing "Fire!" with his head totally in flames. You think you'd be able to do that today? You'd have half London Fire Station down on your ass before you did anything like that. Now, this is a nanny state we live in. There would be no Arthur Browns on stage with his head on fire, I do assure you. You should have seen that guy when he was in full tilt. He was amazing, absolutely fantastic. I wish he could have been here today, but he's in France. They're a bit too busy. Viva Arthur!